Pellet stoves are becoming so popular. So to talk about them, I'm here with Jeremy Penninger at Nixon Seed and Hardware. You're in the stove department. You know all about these things, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so like any other appliance or any item that we have in our house, if you maintain it, are we going to get longer use out of them?
Oh, for sure. A pellet stove, just like anything else you've got to take care of it. Keeping it clean is the most important thing for longevity of the pellet stove. During the heating season, you've got to do regular maintenance on it to keep it clean. That way you aren't left in the cold, essentially.
Now, whenever you go out to service these, do you see a big difference between the ones that customers keep clean and ones that are not really kept up?
Sure. We don't get many calls from the customers that keep their stove clean during the winter season, but people who don't maintenance their stoves, we have to come out and keep them working and clean them so that they can have heat during the season.
So is it like the same kind of thing like the soot that you would get from a natural fireplace, or is it completely separate?
It's different. Yeah, it's not creosote based like you would get from a wood stove, so it's more a fine ash, kind of like baby powder, but in a different color. And it clogs up your stove where your stove can't breathe properly, and then your stove will shut down from safety mechanisms that are in it. So if you keep your stove clean, your stove will keep running.
Okay, so what are how often do we need to do something? Are there different things that we need to go through during the season?
Yeah, sure. There's a few things, like you'll do a couple of times a week, and then you'll do a more thorough cleaning once a week, and then once a month you'll do a major cleaning. And then at the end of the season, you'll call us and we'll come out and do a full deep clean of your stove, all the flue pipe and everything.
All right, can you show me what to do?
For sure.
All right. What do you have to do most frequently?
Sure. On this Harmon 52i, which is our most popular pellet insert, the most important thing is here in the burn pot. You want to keep these holes clean. These holes let airflow into the fire, and we tell customers every 2 to 3 days you want to make sure and poke those holes out with the fires off.
Like a toothpick?
Anything you've got will be fine. Okay. The tool that Harmon provides is inadequate for doing that. So our technicians use an ice pick that they've bent over. I don't care what it is that you use, just keep those holes clean. It's really important. Next thing you're going to want to do is make sure you empty your ash pan. All the time customers say, how often do I have to empty that? I don't know. It's when it's full. So I don't know how hard you use the stove.
Depends on how often you use it.
Everything like that is how cold is it outside? Do you run it all day long? Is it off during the day when you're going to work? All those things play factors. So just whenever it starts to get full, empty
Just
it.
check it. Okay.
Next thing you want to do is you want to vacuum out the inside. The heat exchanger here is cast iron, and when it gets coated with ash, heat will take the path of least resistance, which if this is caked with ash, the heat will go out your flue. And we're not paying to heat outside, we want to pay to heat inside. So this heat exchanger and all this internals you want to keep vacuumed out. You want to use an ash vac. Don't use your regular shop vac because the filter is not tight enough to keep the dust from going out the exhaust of your regular shop vac.
Now, do you have to keep it cool? I mean, does it have to cool down before you can use your ash
vac?
vac?
Yeah, it needs to be cool. It doesn't have to be cold all the way, but it doesn't need to have glowing embers in it is the important part. So you can do it after the stove shut down and been cooled off for a little bit before it starts its next cycle. But you'll develop a routine just like anything else in your house when you have a cleaning cycle. You know, you clean every Saturday. Saturday morning you get up and clean your stove. Once you get into a routine during the heating season, it'll just be normal. So the last thing you want to do, about once a month, you'll want to get in here and you want to take out these panels. So these are your cast iron heat exchanger. So you want to take out these panels.
I assume for this you would want it to be all the way cool.
That's correct. These will need to be cool to the touch, and this is back here will build up with ash. And again, once that gets all full of ash, all your heat is going to go out through the flue because it again takes the path of least resistance. So once a month you want to take those out, clean this area real well, and then reassemble it, and then you're good to go.
Now, when you say clean, you're just talking about vacuuming it. Like you don't need to spray and wipe down or anything. It's just ash.
Your glass will get dirty from time to time, and you can use an ammonia-free glass cleaner and just wipe it down. You will want your glass cool to the touch before you spray anything on it. Whenever you're cleaning in here, I tell people to get the cheapest paintbrush they can find, one that they've got laying around that they don't use anymore, and they'll dust up in here to get all the ash to fall around, and then they can use their ash vac to clean out in the bottom.
Okay.
So, yep.
So that's once a month.
Yep.
And then once a season, then we should get it professionally cleaned.
That's
what
correct.
does the professional do that I can't do?
For sure. So they're going to pull this stove out of the wall. They're going to disconnect it, slide it out of the hole. They're going to take apart the motor. So they're going to clean the internal windings of the motor. They're going to clean the exhaust all the way up through to the top of the chimney or out the wall, depending how it's vented. They're going to take the combustion blower apart and make sure it's all clean because it gets ash buildup on it. The convection blower, which blows air into the room, they're going to make sure that's all clean of dirt and whatnot. They're going to fully take apart your burn pot and clean all that internally. Take apart where your igniter is and clean all that area as well.
So the simple stuff, the once a week, once a month stuff, I can totally do. The rest
sure.
of it, I'm definitely going to call the professionals. So
Yes, ma'am.
thanks for walking me through that,
Yep.
Jeremy. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.